It's a late morning on a residents-free Tuesday in Balboa Park. Museums are offering free admission and families flock here in the summer. That means the parking lots are packed and cars are on the prowl for a space. One of those who finally made it here is San Diego mom, Mai Lee.
Residents Tuesday is insane. Everybody wants to come to Balboa Park because it's the place to be. It took us about 30 minutes to find parking.
You'll find parking crazy just about any time you try to drive to Balboa Park on a weekend or on days when special events occur. Arguably, the two biggest questions facing Balboa Park in the 21st century are how to maintain the park's infrastructure and how to make it easier to get there. The park has no trolley station. There's a new rapid bus line along Park Boulevard, but people who take it will tell you it's not all that rapid. The people who run the place are as frustrated as the park patrons. Peter Comiskey is executive director of the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership.
I think ever since I've been in Balboa Park, there are periods where parking is an exceptional problem.
Here's the Prado.
Tomas Herrera Mischler is CEO of the Balboa Park Conservancy, which is dedicated to financial sustainability of the park.
I think that there's a desperation amongst some people to address the parking issue here. There's a sense of urgency because the cultural institutions, every time someone can't find a parking spot, can't come and go through their doors, they're losing money. And that, there's really no cultural institution in America that can afford to turn away customers right now.
In a deeper sense, the park's dilemma is finding the right balance between space for cars and space for people. 3 years ago, the San Diego City Council confronted that issue head-on when they approved a $45 million plan to remove all parking and car traffic from the Plaza de Panama in the heart of the park. The plan included an 800-space underground parking structure just south of the Organ Pavilion.
And what do? We get a bypass bridge that ruins the front entrance.
But historic preservationists took the project to court, arguing the plan's traffic bypass off the Cabrillo Bridge would be an eyesore on a beautiful historic landscape. In 2013, a district court judge ruled the plan was illegal, but that decision was overturned this year on appeal. Could it now go forward?
It reclaims all of the plazas and promenades in the El Prado historic core.
The money for the plan would have come through a city partnership with philanthropist Irwin Jacobs, who, so far, shows no desire to re-enter the fray. Jacobs, who is also a major contributor to KPBS, couldn't be reached for comment for this story. Everyone I spoke with thinks public transit should be part of the solution for accessing Balboa Park. But Alan Hoffman, a planning advisor and adjunct professor at San Diego State, says accommodating cars is critical.
To be honest, people should be driving to the park because, like when we did a study for the zoo, we found the average automobile occupancy was nearly 3.5 people per car, which means that this is the most efficient parking probably in the entire city.
Any access scenario for San Diego's crown jewel must also include the 1,000-plus people who work in Balboa Park. There is at least one project in motion that would make a dent in the parking dilemma. 650 parking spaces are going in near the back of the Old Globe Theater. The San Diego Zoo is in the process of building a parking garage for its employees. Could the Old Globe use it at night for their theater patrons? The zoo won't comment. Ultimately, the solution to the park's access problems may not be more parking spaces. Balboa Park has many lots, and it's very unusual for all of them to be entirely full. Peter Comiskey says the park needs a better plan for guiding park users to places where they know they can put their cars on a busy day.
One of the best identifiers about the Plaza de Panama plan is that people will come upon one significant parking reserve, and then if that's full, they'll be migrating naturally to a second and then to a third. You won't be just rotating around a car park that may or may not have an availability anytime soon.
Meanwhile, back at Residents Free Tuesday, Jim Caliburg and his wife Chris, former San Diegans who now live in Maryland, told of their adventures trying to park. Eventually, they found a space on Inspiration Point on the edge of the park and a short tram ride to the Prado. They just couldn't get a spot on the tram.
By that point, there were so many young families. They just jammed on there and we just thought, they should be on the tram with their kids. We can walk, so we did.
Tom Fudge, KPBS News.